Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Rick, this is the Bearded Mando. This time around, we're going to put a face on our Mandalorian helmet. Let's get to it. I start with having my outer shell template scaled, printed, and assembled. Now to size it on my helmet. Once sized, I make a couple of registration marks. Now I'll cut out the T-visor and ear areas. I don't like having the bottom of the visor open, and I want to change the eyes as well. I am going to keep the cheeks the same on this one, however. So I cut out the cheeks and grab some scrap poster board and some regular paper. I don't plan on having a rangefinder, so I'll cut the right ear off. When creating a mirrored template, just fold the paper in half and make your sketch. Half the work, twice the reward. When crafting your design, keep in mind there will be a dark visor installed in the face. Make sure you leave yourself room to be able to do that. Doesn't matter if you're gluing it in or using something like Chicago screws. If you plan on joining the Mandalorian Mercs, they do have some requirements when it comes to the visor. Custom visor designs are allowed, however at least 1/3 of the total vertical T portion must be apparent. If you don't plan on applying for membership, you can design this however you want. After a few sketches, I find the one I want. Once I'm happy with everything, I trace it onto the poster board template, give it a good crease, and cut it out. After sanding inside and out on another bucket and making the same perpendicular line, I tape on my new template. A little tracing with a Sharpie, and we're ready to start cutting. trace the outer shell under the inner shell. That way I know where the glue goes and that everything is lined up. Once free from the bucket, I give both parts a quick wipe down with some isopropyl alcohol. Now onto the gluing and clamping. I make sure to use a good amount of glue. I don't worry about if anything squeezes out, I'll just trim it off after it cures. Again, use gloves, a mask, and work in a well-ventilated area. I pre-cut some strips of black tape and ready my spring clamps. You can never have too many spring clamps. These 5-gallon buckets can be a bit touchy when it comes to which glue you use. E6000 has always been great about holding this type of plastic for me. Just needs the proper sanding, clamping, and plenty of time to cure. The colder it is where you're working, the longer it takes to cure. I had a van brace that took 4 days to cure, but man, this thing is solid. Now that this is glued and taped in place, I wait. In the meantime, I trace and cut out the cheeks. Remember, the top part of the cheeks curve in and the bottoms curve out. Make sure you mark your pieces accordingly. Grab my glue gun and start gluing the cheeks in place. Take it slow, don't burn yourself. Hot glue isn't great for this type of plastic, but this is just kind of a placeholder. Hot glue does take a while to set like this, but partway through I remembered I had a can of air for cleaning my keyboard. Big time saver. The air started running out, but the can still had plenty of propellant. I can't stress this enough. Be very careful when turning the can upside down and spraying. The propellant is very cold and you can hurt yourself. Now that the cheeks are in place, I move on to resin and fiberglass. Pre-cut plenty of small strips and start building up the inside. Don't skip on the sanding on the inside of the bucket, otherwise the resin won't stick. With the resin all smoothed out, I set it aside to cure. Once cured, I peel the hot glue from the outside. Alright, we're going to end this video right here. There was some bowing right here, so I installed a temporary visor. In the next video, we'll go over installing the template and the visor with Chicago screws. Stay tuned.